Major news coming out of Washington to that finally much needed money in Americans' pockets. All late last night, what it does is it gives a one-time direct check of $600 to any American making less than $75,000 a year. What it also does is it enhances the federal unemployment benefits, would increase the payment to $2,000.
Now, you may see a huge monthly benefit decrease soon, everybody. The Social Security Administration has actually released big information on this. Inflation can actually lead to Social Security and SSDI recipients receiving huge stimulus payments. The Social Security recipients are going to see and find out what their new monthly payments will be in 2023 after the cost of living adjustment kicks in. And beginning this month, everybody, the Social Security Administration is going to set and start mailing out the COLA notices to beneficiaries, providing details on the next year's stimulus checks. Because let's face it, everybody, this is the right thing to do. President Biden has waited too long for the stimulus payments, and something needs to be done now. The reason is that COLA is applied to your primary insurance rather than your current benefit, and the two are not always the same. According to the Social Security Administration, the primary insurance amount is the benefit you would get if you would like to begin receiving your benefits early. So at this age, the benefit is neither reduced or either for early retirement or increased for delayed retirement. The primary insurance amount formula is based on the sum of three separate percentages of portions of average index monthly earnings. And folks, the age you start collecting Social Security retirement benefits is an important consideration in terms of your COLA. Anybody, and everybody can wait until the full retirement age, which is currently 66 or 67, depending on which you were born. But to start collecting it, you have to wait a little bit longer to get your full retirement age to claim your benefits entirely. Your primary insurance amount and the monthly payment might also be the same if you do that. Folks, listen to this. If you claim your benefits at a different age, the SSA then runs another calculation on you to adjust the V up or down for those who claim early or late. People who claim these benefits early and full before the retirement age typically get lower payments than usual. And that's not what you want to see. With those who wait until they are age 70 to get the highest possible payment, it's just not good. In some cases, you might get a higher COLA than 8.7% because just Medicare and premiums will go down in 2023. These premiums are deducted from your Social Security payments, so you're just going to have less taken out in 2023 than you did in 2022. Even if you're already signed up for Medicare, that just means your COLA might be 8.7%. However, your COLA could be less than 8.7 if you've already started collecting Social Security and plan to sign up for Medicare for the first time in the years. Because the Part B premium will now be withheld from your Social Security payment, it could actually eat into some of the 8.7% COLA. And now millions of people are still eligible for a form of relief, but the time to claim the checks are running out. 9 million people are eligible for a crisis stimulus check or a child tax credit, everybody. According to the Government Accountability Office, the outstanding stimulus payments can amount to as much as $3,200 for some filers. Individuals and couples who just don't file taxes because of how little income they earn have until the middle of the month to fill out a simplified tax return to determine whether they qualify to get the stimulus money that everybody wants. Individuals as well, or people who made less than 75 grand a year, or the joint filers who made less than 150 grand, were eligible for the three payments of varying amounts. Now, most parents are eligible for the federal government child tax credit, and that was distributed from July to December, with the goal of getting the tax credit to help people with children and financial hardship being avoided with this. Eligible families, everybody, received advanced monthly payments of half their total expected child tax credit, folks. And generally, everybody, checks were sent to your bank or to your mailbox and people who had a recipient family. Congress, everybody, still approved 3 waves of stimulus worth around $1 trillion of stimulus checks has been sent out from 2020 to 2022, and 2 of the stimulus checks were already signed into law. Now we're waiting on President Biden to sign this one into law as well, and for many states in America to send out their own state stimulus payment. Because part of the challenge for the IRS and the Treasury is that we only had data on taxpayers that had previously filed taxes. So since a broader set of families are eligible for stimulus payments and the expanded child tax credit as well, Treasury and the IRS reached around 9 million people just to let them know that they're eligible for the relief checks. That's good, everybody. Hopefully President Biden can do more for the American people and send out stimulus payments ASAP.
And had poison pills, a provision that would give all corporations, no matter how egregious their behavior, immunity, and nothing to help the unemployed. No direct checks. So the idea that this delay was caused by Democrats is Alice in Wonderland history. It was caused by a Republican majority that didn't want to vote the monies desperately needed by the American people. The significance of this package, even though it's not as large or...
While the city of Chicago is set to provide prepaid gas cards and transit cards, eligible residents of California are set to receive payments under two stimulus packages passed last year. The first Golden State stimulus and the second Golden State stimulus. The state's residents will receive a check for either $600 or $1,200 in the first stimulus package, and a check for up to $1,100 under the second package. Some may receive lower payments under the second Golden State stimulus, depending on whether they qualified for the first Golden State stimulus. Californians who earn less than $75,000 will qualify this year. And in the state of Delaware, it's planned to issue a tax rebate by the end of the year. Individual filers are set to receive $300, and people filing jointly can get a rebate of $600. Delaware's Department of Finance told reporters recently the state anticipates sending the first round of payments based on 2020 return data. The Department of Finance also said they expect to make further rounds of payments. Any person who filed their taxes in the state of Indiana before January 3rd will be eligible. Paper checks may not be issued until July or August, but those who provided banking information with the 2021 tax returns will receive direct checks. And now, Democrats will continue their attempts to revive the sweeping climate and spending bill as the new congressional work period begins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I'd like to direct my question first to Matt Seaholm because I thought that Chairman in waiting, Kathy Morris Rogers, raised some good points because of the problem we should have learned through COVID, that we need more plastics, not less. So, Matt, on these questions, there are two of the bills impose a 3-year moratorium on permits for plastic facilities, and that's to allow the EPA to develop environmental air quality standards. Now, we fully respect after 3 years of developing this, and we know it'll take 3 years to develop those, then they're going to go through a series of litigation. They always have. And then after the litigation's resolved, then we're going to move over to where actually these plastic manufacturers will have to have design and construct those facilities. So we could have a prolonged period of time. So my question is, how long do you think this pause could actually last?
Well, thank you for the question. That's certainly our biggest concern. Is it's considered a temporary pause, but because of the way it is written, there's no for certain end date for that pause. In the meantime, we've got members who have to apply for permits every 5 years, and any expansion or new component of their facilities could trigger this temporary pause and ultimately result in potentially shutdowns or simply moving production to a different place. And that was one of the points that I made.